if you haven't played the bagpipes before, but have played other instruments, say the whistle or the flute or the recorder, one of the things you have to do is consider what kind of fingering you're going to do on the pipe. And I'm going to talk about small pipes specifically. Scottish small pipes, most people who come to Scottish small pipes want to use the fingering they've done on Scottish Highland pipes, so that's not so much of an issue. But when you're playing, say, my Leicestershire small pipes, you have to consider how you're going to get spaces between the notes. Now, if you play a whistle, great, you've got spaces because you can tongue. And at this point I should point out that with videos and cameras and things, there's always a time delay, so what you're actually seeing with my fingers isn't exactly what you're hearing. You just have to bear with this. This is one of the limitations of the media. So you can pause in between and create silence. You can't do that with a bagpipe, and a lot of people who buy their first set or order their first set of Leicestershire small pipes think, great, well, let's have the same fingering as I have on the whistle. It means that you don't have to learn a new fingering. I can understand the logic of that, and some people have gone ahead and that's what they've done and it suited them fine. But I always like to stop and talk to people first to just make them consider that if you use open fingering, you've then got to create the effect of space between the notes, because a thing that people, when they approach bagpipes, don't always consider, don't even realise, and I think I was playing my pipes myself before I really realised, is you can't play silence on pipes. So it's like playing, imagine trying to pick up your whistle and have a compressed air just producing the air. So you've got to give some kind of indication that there's a space between the notes. So the system I favour, it's not essential, as I say, I can supply chanters with either fingering, is what I called covered fingering. And this is, you lift one finger off at a time, only one finger. So when you're playing the next note up, this finger goes down and that one comes up. And then this one goes down and that comes up. And it seems very unnatural when you talk about it to start with, and I didn't like learning this system to start with, but there is a definite logic to that. What it means is that in that brief split second when I put that finger down and lift that one off, I pop down to the D, well, the bottom note, whatever your chanter is. This one happens to be D. It's also the D of my drone. Now, if my drone is perfectly in tune with the chanter, they'll blend in. That brief little Morse code when it happens, brief spot of popping down to the bottom note, or the six finger note, not the bottom note because that's pinky one below, that creates the effect of silence between space. Well, it's not silence, but it creates space between the notes. Now, as I say, the DVD player may make it look a bit funny, but I'll try and play this slowly. You can alter how much that little blip at the bottom is. You can either make real staccato notes by making it very long, or making it so slight that you can hardly hear it at all. I've done that without the drone, so I'll unplug the drone now so you can hear it. Your drone is perfectly in tune. You've got to get it really well in tune to get this effect to come over. Okay, I'll demonstrate it in one of the versions of the Dorset four-hand reel. played the B section the first time, I played it quite smoothly, da 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 da, and the second half I did da 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 da. It sounds a bit more like the Northumbrian pipes. The Northumbrian pipes have a cork in the bottom, so when you put all 7 fingers on, you get silence. But it is worth considering this, and the choice, you have to make this choice to start with, but I can alter the tuning of it's not like buying a left-hand drive car or a right-hand drive car. If you decide to go for covered fingering at a later date, you find you really can't cope with it, you'll only find the top couple of notes are out of tune, and I can retune the chanter for you, so it's not like an irreversible decision. And a lot of my customers, I'm sure, actually operate using a bit of both systems as well. The lower chanters, the C and the D one, it really is quite important to have it tuned by me. The G or the A chanters, the lower chanters, they'll come tuned obviously by me, but they're much more forgiving what kind of fingering you do, and some people can use different fingering. So it's worth considering this beforehand, and if you haven't understood everything I've said, I'm very happy to discuss it more on email or on a telephone call or Skype or something. I hope that helps.